G'day mate, 40 here. It's really weird walking through the Royal Botanical Gardens here in Sydney. And like, where's the crime? Where's the dysfunction? Like, we're right by the Central Business District, right by the Opera House, but like, where's the rape? Looking into the bushes, I don't see any raping going on. I don't see any grievous bodily harm being inflicted. Like, where's the trash? Where's the graffiti? Where are the homeless, the drug addicts, the panhandlers? Like, where are all the people who let me know that I'm in a big city, that I'm in the States? Like, how do you maintain all these delicate ecosystems? How do you maintain all this exquisite plant life and animal life? Like, where's the blaring rap music? Where's the blaring mariachi music? Where are the vibrant gangs of youths wilding? This is really weird. I'm in the Royal Botanical Gardens and there's no bloody wilding going on. How can I be in a central business district of Australia's biggest city? There's not even any wilding going on. Like, where are the youths rampaging and destroying? Where's the graffiti? Like, where's everything that makes, vibrant big city America so vibrant? Just where's the vibrance here? Just doesn't seem very vibrant. I mean, we've got tons of diversity, but no vibrance, Los Angeles style or New York style, right? You've got that big park in Manhattan, right? You get lots of wilding and raping and all sorts of horrible stuff going on. Where are the alarms? Where are the police sirens? Where are the ambulance sirens? Where are the police helicopters, like, shining a light? Where are the bullhorns? Where are the angry protesters? I've been in Australia for 3 months. No one said anything to me about how Black Lives Matter. Do Black Lives Matter to you, Karen? Do Black Lives Matter to you? Where's the concern? Where's the activism? Where's the apocalyptic sense that the world's coming to an end, that the country's convulsing into a civil war? Instead, we're right on the verge of Australia Day. People are just happy, going for a walk with their family and friends, stretching their legs, taking a break from work, going back to school in a week or so.
The course started Monday.
Such a shame that Australia lacks the vibrancy of American big cities. It's just so quiet and tranquil and people enjoying themselves. This isn't a big city. Like, where's the fear? I'm just not detecting any fear. What the hell? Where's the fear, guys? Where's the dread? Where's the worry just written all over people's faces? Like, how do you maintain all this nice stuff? How do you maintain all this delicate life? How do you maintain pleasant, sensitive public spaces? I mean, if this was Los Angeles, all this would be torn up, ripped up, graffitied, trashed. Where's the trash after a good quinceañera? No one's blaring any rap music, man. That's weird. Like, where are the packs of youths making life miserable for everyone else? I mean, how does Australia get to have nice things? Like, what is it about Australians that just makes them so nice and law-abiding? Original Australians came here as convicts. Yeah, how do they turn into such a law-abiding people? Yeah, I see tons of diversity. It seems to be a type of diversity that works. So apparently there's some diversity that works. Other types of diversity lead to conflagration. So there's a sign, keep out of the flowers. And it's amazing people obey the directives. What kind of society is this where people follow the rules? Where people don't just trash public spaces for the fun of it? Now we've got all this diversity of plant life. We can only thrive because we have a cooperative citizenry and we have law enforcement that are willing to incentivize people to follow the law. Where's the anger? Where's the tension and stress written all over people's faces? Where's that haunted feeling that you don't have any health insurance, that you're in desperate straits, that you might be going homeless? Where's the sense that you're living life on the edge? That the game's been rigged against you? We're living in the end times. It just doesn't seem to be any of that. Where's the moral panic? Where are the hysterias? Where are the women with blue hair? I don't see as many piercings. I see a lot more piercings in Los Angeles. Now there are a lot more tattoos in Australia compared to 30, 40 years ago. But they haven't kept up with the piercings. Like, where's the anger at society, anger at the parents, anger at the patriarchy? Where's the bloody anger, mate? Where are the expressions of rage? Where's the senseless destruction? Where's the tearing up of everything that's pretty and sensitive and sweet and delicate, just for the fun of destruction? Where are the super predators? Maybe the super predators are behind the bushes here. Maybe I'm just missing them. How do they get to have nice public facilities that aren't trashed and used for drug deals and prostitution? Where are the homeless encampments? Where are the strung out addicts and alcoholics? Where are the runaway kids? And even the animals, even the ducks don't have fear. How come you don't have any fear, mate? Where's your sense of fear? Don't you have any sense of danger? You don't seem afraid, mate. I just wonder, can Los Angeles sustain something like this? Is people walking around being happy? I mean, do we need a common culture in Los Angeles? A respect for private property, public property, for plant diversity, human biodiversity. Like, can we have a common culture where people who are predatory and destructive, they're removed from polite society, so that good people can enjoy public spaces like these? So I am like a quarter mile from the central business district. So you've got all these skyscrapers looming above Royal Botanical Gardens. So you've got the hustle and bustle of the big city in one of the safest cities in the world. Right? This isn't Tokyo. This isn't Hong Kong. Right? This isn't one of those law-abiding East Asian communities. This is a fair dinkum Australian community. Beautiful flowers, luscious wildlife. And it's just a welcome place. Got birds and ducks, ebony and ivory living together in perfect harmony. I wonder if we can learn anything from what the Australians have constructed here. We can take back to America's big cities. Or is what Australians have constructed here only possible with a certain mix of people, certain social arrangements, certain immigration policies, certain law and order policies? Now, could we have all of this while allowing millions of illegal immigrants to pour over the border? Like, somehow I don't think that we could enjoy all this if you had millions of illegal immigrants. Okay, so imagine that there was a border like 5 miles from here. Millions of illegal immigrants were pouring through. You think that these Royal Botanical Gardens look like this if you had hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants pouring through, staying the night, using the public facilities, doing drug deals, murdering and raping, bringing their problems with them, bringing drugs, bringing crime? They're rapists, and some, I assume, are nice people. And this is a sanctuary from illegal aliens, sanctuary from super predators, sanctuary from the revolutionary mindset, from anarchist and communist agitation. Maybe when you see all this, you see white supremacy. Is this the beautiful false face of white supremacy? Yeah, sure, it all looks very pretty, but what about the patriarchal ugliness behind it? The Christian supremacism, the white racialism, the exclusive immigration policies that allow, sure, this is all very beautiful, but it's hiding the ugly face of white supremacy. For your well-being, we ask that you keep to the paths and avoid touching the plants. So if we had millions of illegal immigrants passing through who weren't able to read these notices, or even if they were able to read them, do you think they'd respect them? I hope they don't respect the law of the land coming here illegally, but you think with all this delicate wildlife, this delicate diversity, to millions of illegal immigrants pouring through here, do you think they'd be very respectful of this? I mean, could you have this on the southern border of the United States? Is this the sort of thing you could only have in places very exclusive like Martha's Vineyard, Manhattan, Beverly Hills? Just like humbled by all this beauty. It kind of reminds you of your proper place in the universe. Like it centers you, it cleanses you, realigns you. And doggone it, makes me a little angry that we can't have more places like this in Los Angeles. So many of our beautiful public spaces have been trashed, filled with litter. We have gangs, astronomical rates of criminal activity, drug dealing, violence, rape. Because we don't lock these people up like we used to. Right, in the 1990s, we were going in the right direction. People who did heinous things were put away in prison, kept away from decent people. And now you can steal up to $950 in California and it's only a misdemeanor. And if you had those kind of rules here, you think that you'd be able to have these oriental gardens, these botanical gardens. All this beauty and curated biodiversity. I walk through here and I just kind of mourn what California's lost. California used to be America's last best hope. Just a great place to be an average bloke. Land of opportunity. Into the 1960s, you didn't have to lock your doors at night or lock your car doors in the San Fernando Valley. That's all been trashed, thrown away under an influx of illegal immigrants. Now I can't even talk to half the people in Los Angeles because they don't speak English. And when Sam Yorty was defeated by Bradley, mayor of Los Angeles, circa 1970, everything started going downhill after that. We had Richard Riordan for 2 terms in the 1990s. He's a moderate Republican. Right. He got the city back on track. We had our New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles, America's biggest cities. How steadily they've gone downhill since the 1960s, with only brief interregnum in the Republicans. Think about how Mayor Giuliani turned around New York City. Mayor Bloomberg did a pretty good job too, and all that progress was trashed under Bill de Blasio. You build something special and sacred. then you see all the gains dissipated as you abandon the rule of law. Start incentivizing antisocial behavior and not punishing it by subsidizing it. This were Los Angeles, it'd be filled with homeless, with derelicts, with drug addicts, with criminals, with gangs, with youths, with joggers. I haven't seen one policeman since I've been walking around here for the past 2 hours. It's not like you've got the oppressive police monitoring every corner, every alley, every plant. Where are the gangs tagging their territory? Where are the rap artists? It's the vibrant youths hanging out CDs of their rap music and then accosting you for money. Where are the fights between the hobos and the derelicts? Where are the stabbings? You've got all this cover, all these bushes and trees behind which to do dark deeds. I don't know, here at the Royal Botanical Gardens I don't see a lot of dark deeds going on. I just see fond memories and freaks of nature. Kind of makes you want to go troppo, eh, mate? So you don't really have the tropics in the United States, but you have them here in Australia. Just like you, every plant has a family, and family members are easy to spot if you know what to look for. Wow, that sounds like stereotyping. Stereotyping plants, stereotyping people. Can't have stereotypes around here, mate. Yeah, the battle against ignorance and bigotry and stereotypes is never won. You have to wage it anew each day in new ways. All these people thinking that they can just stereotype plant families, animal families, that different subspecies have different characteristics. And this hateful idea that some dogs are more dangerous than other dogs. Some dogs are more intelligent than other dogs. And some mixtures of subspecies are more conducive to harmony than other mixtures. Oh, the battle of this kind of stereotypical, racist, bigoted, ignorant thinking. It's never won, mate. It's never won. So these baby eels squirm across the damp grass at night from the harbor. Then you'll see the fluffy ducklings taken by an eel. It's the way of nature. Ducks in turn find baby eels a tasty meal. Look at all these ducks and birds and plants living side by side. Can't we all just get along? did they create Sydney as one of the safest cities in the world? Like, what are the ingredients? Can they be reproduced in the United States? Sure feels like people in Australia doing something right. How did they create this harmonious, cohesive, high-trust society? Right? You see people clutching their purses and their bags with fear that they're going to be ripped out of their hands. Like, where are the purse snatchers? I don't see any purse snatchers here. I do see a few joggers, but they don't seem to be invading construction sites and stealing things. This has more of the ethos of that Asian student on college campus who said, "This is library. People study here. This is library. This is botanical gardens. People are kind and pleasant, harmonious here. No purse snatching, no rioting." So individuals and communities need guardrails. Right? People need to be incentivized to stay on the straight and narrow. And when they start acting in an antisocial manner, they need to be held accountable as quickly as possible, in appropriate levels of deterrence, so that you can maintain civilizations like this. And if there's no deterrence for trashing the Royal Botanical Gardens, it wouldn't be here to enjoy. If there's no deterrence for seizing someone's purse, stealing someone's pizza, for invading someone's home, for spray painting, right? No graffiti. How do they manage to create this safe space with no graffiti? This doesn't look like Mexico. This doesn't look like Central or South America. This doesn't look like New York City, Los Angeles, or Chicago. I know it's different. How do you develop a community that's so pro-social, high trust, socially cohesive, altruistic? Willing to sacrifice for the greater good, a sense of unifying culture. Australia has a dominant culture. Everybody says Merry Christmas or Merry Chrissy. You're not greeted by Happy Holidays. And there's one dominant heritage, one dominant ethos, one dominant morality.
I don't know whether that's going to...
One dominant moral standard for behavior. So it is Wednesday Arvo. About 5:30 p.m. It's January 25, the day before Australia Day, 2023. Ride these beautiful ferries around for maximum price is about $15 Australian, which is currently about $11 American. You can take the ferry up to Parramatta, about a 45-minute journey. I ride the the light rail and the trains and the buses all day for about $1. When you go to a pub or a convenience store, you don't get ripped off. Prices are pretty similar on a lot of goods wherever you are in Australia. So Australia has a federalist system, but you don't have the dramatic variety of the United States. Laws are still pretty similar throughout Australia, as opposed to the differences between New York City and Alabama and Mississippi and Arkansas and Seattle. Because there's one culture, it's a lot easier to get things done. People agree on more things. There's less need for culture war and conflict. This is a country too busy having fun to hate, mate. People just want to be with their friends and their family, make money, pursue their hobbies, enjoy their gorgeous public spaces. Australia's beaches are Australia's cathedrals. You get to have all these public works and public concerts, public goods. So you have a country that's united around what's best for Australia. Australians aren't as outwardly patriotic as Americans, but they're much more cohesive, trusting, altruistic, and willing to work together for what's best for Australia. So Australians are nationalistic in their own way. Right? For many Australians, particularly the least educated ones, if you're not Australian, you're nothing. Now, Australian elites and Australian university educated, right, they have a lot in common with the university educated throughout the First World. But most Australians don't go to university. So it used to be only up to about 5% of Australians went to university. Now that's being expanded to various forms of tertiary education. But it's still not the ridiculously high percentages you find in the United States.
Still getting used to it. I'm not ready to give up my wig.
That's the magnificent Sydney Harbour Bridge, Sydney Opera House. So Sydney is Australia's most diverse city, and it's also the city where it's the most difficult to make friends. So compared to other parts in Australia, that a little less cohesive, and there's less volunteering in Sydney compared to other parts of Australia, so less altruism. More difficult to make friends. So Sydney is famous for how difficult it is to make friends, because I guess part of it is most residents of Sydney have grown up together, gone to school together, and so You know, they hang out with that clique of people their entire lives. So Australia is also the most sexually segregated first world nation. So perhaps aside from the university crowd, men basically don't open up a conversation with women unless they're going to have a go. Unless they're going to try to have a crack at her. And women very rarely will initiate any conversation with a bloke. Australia is still more traditional in its male-female roles. Men are much more expected to be the aggressor. So I noticed when I moved to America, like how much more assertive and aggressive the women were. Much more willing to flirt with you and reach out to you and touch you and kiss you. Have a go. Americans much more enthusiastic, much more emotional, wear their hearts on their sleeve much more than Australians. So we're here in Sydney's eastern suburbs, so most people are pretty fit. You want to find fat Australians, you'll have to go inland. This is very expensive real estate. So the affluent tend to be slender. The lower classes tend to be fat and stubby. I think the difference between Wayne Rooney, he's kind of short and stubby, and more aristocratic looking David Beckham, they're pretty much all soccer stars come from working class or lower middle class backgrounds. So the most common name that people use for each other in Australia is mate. Overwhelmingly men with men. It's, oh mate, or by the way mate, or could you help me mate, or what do you know mate, how's it going mate. So bespeaks a genuine camaraderie and ease with each other. Now that can come with certain types of corruption and exclusion. It can be difficult to break through in Sydney and make friends. Right? It's a lot easier to make friends in Sydney if you make friends with other immigrants, people from South Africa, Central South America, Americans, North Americans, Asians. Right? People who feel a bit excluded from the mainstream of Sydney residents who grew up here. Will generally speaking be a lot easier to make friends with fellow people on the fringe. Sydney is a very expensive place to live, one of the world's 10 most expensive cities, along with Melbourne. Probably twice as expensive as Los Angeles, for example. Much higher quality of life here than what you have in Los Angeles, Chicago, or New York City, or Seattle, or even Portland. It used to be a really high quality of life in Portland until the last, 8 years. Portland seemed like a white-topia when I visited in the year 2000. Not so much anymore. The murder rate has been skyrocketing in Portland, New York, Los Angeles, but not in Sydney, mate.